Hello, I'm Ben. I'm doing this video along with others, hopefully, in conjunction with a blog that I've been writing for the last 15 days, um, which I hope to carry on until at least New Year. I've been writing and I'm doing this video because 3 weeks ago on Monday I tried to kill myself. I took 3 packs of paracetamol, a couple of packs of ibuprofen, several antidepressants, several sleeping pills, some other random pills I had lying around the house, with half a bottle of whiskey, with the intention of obviously that failed quite miserably, as you can see. I made the schoolboy error of posting my suicide note on Facebook 2 minutes after taking my overdose, which led to lots of people calling me and texting me and messaging me on Facebook and Twitter and bandying around words like A&E, ambulance, police. I eventually ended up at the Royal London Hospital, where I was prodded with lots of needles and given exciting psychiatric assessments in rooms made of foam furniture, and then released to the care of my mum, who lives in Norfolk. So that's where I am right now, sat in her house in a tiny little village in rural Norfolk, surrounded by fields. For any of you that know me, you'll know that London is my home. London is the place I like to be. It's the place that I love. It's just very much for me. So, not having the buzz of the city, or hearing people fight outside my flat, or the rumble of the tubes underneath, or the whistle of the wind through the cranes, or of the rude boys' cars coming past as they go to the dog fight right next to my flat, or smelling the spliff that they're all smoking downstairs and casually dealing, or walking through Whitechapel Market on the way to the tube, inevitably late, and then running down through the tube, listening to them to give out the announcements for the day, to hear every single line is suspended, or has got what's the fucking word? Or has got some sort of delay on it, is hard for me. So I know that's a kind of paradox, because obviously, if my suicide would have worked, I wouldn't be here right now. So I wouldn't be anywhere right now. So yeah, I'm still here, and I've been writing for 15 days about it. In the process of this, I've been seen by a member of the mental health crisis team, in Norfolk, most days since I got up here. So nurses, psychologists, doctors, psychiatric people, therapists, some people that I don't actually think were trained. I think they just sort of rumbled in, but that was fine. And a consultant or two. Yeah. So the kind of outcome of all of that is that I've had a differential diagnosis of having either cyclothymia or bipolar affective disorder, which I like to call bad. So cyclothymia, or bad, means that my mood is either really high, or can be really high for an extended period of time, or can be really low for an extended period of time. When I'm high, I am really reckless. So I will take all of the drugs possible that I can get my hands on. Normally MDMA or cocaine or a mixture of the two, but I'm really not that picky. So anything. I had methadone in a can of Red Stripe in a dingy club in Vauxhall before, which wasn't a good experience, and don't do that because it's really bad. Not because drugs are bad, because it was grim. I drink a lot. I sleep with lots and lots of people, which in itself isn't a bad thing, but in that state it's probably not advisable. I don't sleep, I don't eat, I don't look after myself. I generally feel like I can take on the world, and I feel like I'm immortal or invincible, and I spent all of my money. I spent £3 in 2 weeks when I got my student loan. £3 is the entirety of my student loan for the first time, on shit, basically. I've got some lovely clothes, don't get me wrong, they're absolutely gorgeous, but now have no money for rent or anything like that. So yeah, when I'm low, I can't get out of bed. I struggle to complete even menial tasks. I just can't get motivation to do anything. I don't eat, I don't sleep, I don't look after myself. I think about harming myself. I think suicidal thoughts, which is obviously what led up to 3 weeks ago Monday. I just generally can't function. So for the last 5 years or so, I've kind of been cycling through these two different stages or kind of phases of mood. There have been times when I've been in the middle and been relatively okay. I'll talk about those kind of later, if not in this video then in another one. But for the most part, it's a very debilitating thing to have. It's very difficult to kind of unravel and to pick apart and to try and determine which bits are the illness and which bits are just me being hedonistic and trying to push boundaries, or the parts of me that really truly utterly insatiably detest myself to the bottom of my soul. The reason I'm started to do this video is because although I've been writing for 15 days and that's really good and it's really cathartic and it's really helped me to kind of fix things in my head, to frame things rather, to write them down and to be able to articulate what I'm feeling and to put it out there to the world so that people around me actually know. And also, it's really good for me as that's what I want to do. I want to be a writer, so it's really good to be able to kind of employ the task that I want to do in my life in helping me get better. But I realise that I am going to have to talk to people when I get back to normal life, when I've recovered slightly. I'm going to have to interact with and talk to people that I see in my day-to-day life, whether that be friends, family, people that I just come across. I'm not going to be able to just hand them a massive dossier, which is entitled, Bang, Life of a Bipolar. Life of a Bipolar? Life with Bipolar. Sorry. So, I need to get more comfortable with it, which is what this is an attempt at doing. I have a front, a very, well, I like to think it's very impenetrable, but it's not, front of being a very committed hedonist. So I would be the one that is snorting a line of coke an hour before I have to go to a protest, or comes out of a club at 10 AM and then gets on a tube and goes to university, or turns up at university with massive sunglasses on to hide the fact that my pupils are still huge because I'm still coming up, or goes to work still absolutely off their head with hair that's just like a mop because I haven't been home for 5 days. I am that person. I'm the person that always says we should go to the club instead of going home. I'm the person that always thinks we should have one more drink at the pub, which turns into another one and another one and another one and another one. I am that person, or at least that's what my front is. And it's really difficult when that's how you're known and that's how you portray yourself, and that's the image that you perpetuate to everybody around you, to connect with people and to say, hey, the reason that I haven't been to class today isn't because I'm still coming up, because I'm actually sitting at home looking at my Dali poster, stroking it because I think it's alive. The reason I haven't been to class today is because deep inside of me I'm really hurting. I'm really struggling to cope. And not only that, I've been really hurting, really struggling to cope for a long time. And I need some help, but I don't know how to ask for it. And when I do ask for it, I don't particularly articulate it very well. And I haven't been able to until this point because I haven't had the words to articulate it. Which is kind of what my blog was about tonight. I was talking about the pros and cons, as it were, of being given a diagnosis of being bipolar. So on the one hand, being able to say that instead of what I just said is a lot easier. Being able to say to my university lecturers, the reason that my essay isn't as good as it should be is because I have bipolar and it seriously impacts on my life on a daily, monthly, weekly, yearly basis. I find it really difficult to cope a lot of the time. This is a good thing, obviously, because it means that people don't think that I am just a waste, which is how I view myself. How I view myself as a waste, as nothing, as worthless, as a piece of shit on the shoe of the world that just needs to be scraped off and left to curl up and dry in the morbid sun of our own mortality. That was slightly more hipster than I thought it was going to be. So, it's good, sorry. In another sense, it's a bad thing because people have their own preconceptions of what it means to be bipolar, me included. Like I said, I've only just been told about this differential diagnosis, so I'm still working with it, struggling with it, trying to figure out what the fuck it means for me and for those around me. When you say bipolar to someone, often they'll think, okay, manic depression, it means you go whoop, 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 which is slightly true, yeah. My mood is liable to fluctuate a lot, but only within certain bounds, and those bounds kind of change depending on whether I'm high or whether I'm low, and it affects me in other ways. So I am very reckless, as I said, I take lots of drugs, but it can affect people in different ways. So someone else with bipolar might get in a lot of fights, someone else might get naked at every single opportunity. I'm not saying that those characteristics are purely reserved to people with bipolar, so if you are an exhibitionist or you are a bit chopsy, that's cool. You may not have bipolar, fear not. It's just symptomatic of that. So I'm still trying to work out what it means to me to be bipolar and what it's going to mean in my life and what it's going to mean to people around me and how people are going to react. But I'm also really struggling with worth or self-worth and how to make myself feel better about myself, because in order to beat this, in order to control it, to manage it, I need to feel like I am worth something. I need to feel like I am worth that energy and that time and that money and that effort to actually make me better. As far as I'm concerned, there is absolutely no point in the NHS wasting good drugs, good money, good time, good people on investing in me, because as far as I see it, it's worthless. What's the point? Obviously, people around me have a different opinion, and they're entitled to that. And I need to try somehow, because if not for me, for other people around me, to at least get some way to having that opinion. And I have absolutely no idea how to do it. So if you have any suggestions, that would be very, very, very useful. So this is probably one of the first times when I haven't been off my fucking head or forced into a scenario where I have to talk about the way that I feel about myself. And doing it off my own back because I think it's important and it will help me get better eventually, but it's very much not an easy thing to do. I find it hard to articulate the way that I feel about myself, and I'm sure that there are lots of people out there that feel similarly or that have their quirks. Everybody has things about themselves that they don't like, and I'm not saying that the way that I feel is any worse or any better than anybody else. What I do know is how I feel and how I experience it, and the way that I experience it is in a kind of crushing, monotonous, incessant grind on every single thought, every single move, every single action, conversation, way that I say things, way that I do things, the way that I see things, the way that other people react to me, the things that other people do. All of these things all connect back to how I feel about myself, how I think I'm nothing, how I think I'm fat, how I think I'm ugly, how I think I don't deserve to be here, and how I think that those people around me who don't think I'm fat, don't think I'm ugly, don't think I'm nothing, think I'm worth something, and do deserve to be here and want me to be here, how sorry and guilty I feel to them for wasting their time, because it feels like a bad investment, and I don't really truly know how to get out of that and how to stop that and how to get myself in a more positive, better frame of mind to be able to live, basically, because there are so many things that I want to do and there are so many things that I want to see. It's just I don't actually know whether I deserve them yet. I think that's probably enough for today. I'm going to try and edit this now. Wish me luck. Yeah, I hope you all have a fun Saturday night, and when I get around to making another one, I'll see you then.